I'm more fortunate than most people. I have already lived, and I'm old enough and secure enough not to get angry because people don't like what I'm going to say. Right on. At least a month before the march, I was one of the first people to say that the march was a ceremony, a waste of time, and a Farrakhan con game. I said it because I know Farrakhan, and I know other con games that he's played. My remarks will be centered around Farrakhan, a faker, Malana Karenga, another faker, and the word atonement. I don't have to defend my political relationships because I have been a political left radical for most of my life, and I have been a severe critic of the left for most of my life, and for which I have no apologies. Now, the Million Man March was an achievement. An achievement for who and for what? Anytime you gather that many people together and the speeches last 4 and 5 hours, and you do not bring Africa in focus, in relationship to the African people of the world, you are out of order. You might as well talk about a child without talking about its mother and its father. Now, let's look at the intent of Farrakhan, and let's look at a serious disease in our community that plagues Farrakhan as well as others, and that is ego starvation. We are lacking in a special kind of stoking that makes us secure. Let's look at the fact that Malcolm X was a tutor of Farrakhan, and he turned on Malcolm X and said that Malcolm X was a traitor to the nation, and the nation had a right to punish him. Now, can you trust in leadership people who would turn on a friend? I have said many times, if Farrakhan would sell one of his stretch limousines, he could send a black student through medical school. You have gathered to aggrandize a faker who is not accountable to you for anything. He has not accounted to you for the $5 million he got from Libya. Libya is part of the fundamentalist Arab clique who wants to Islamize Africa or destroy it. Who congratulated him after the march? Libya and a high politician from Iran. Libya has been instigating to move to the south into the great corridor that is Sudan. If you take the Sudan, that corridor gives you a straight shot into South Africa, and Libya will join the whites to reconquer Africa. They have no compunction about it because they do not think of themselves as an African people, and like all conquerors, they declared war. on all forms of African culture, because Farrakhan belongs to fundamentalist and reactionary Islam. He knows nothing about revolutionary Islam, that is African Islam. In Arab Islam, no woman ever held state power. In African Islam, women not only held state power, but in African Islam, women are the masters of the marketplace. Go to West Africa right now. Most of the concessions are controlled by women. Go to East Africa, where you find African Islam. It's man-controlled, because the Arabs destroyed the matrilineal and installed the patrilineal. Farrakhan has not answered to us. For some things we should have obviously asked some questions about. After the Million Man March, the Caribbean News had a headline hailing the march in the triumph of the West Indian Farrakhan. How did Farrakhan suddenly become a West Indian? He wasn't born there. Why are you emphasizing his West Indianness now? He ain't got no West Indian support. Why did you let Farrakhan get away with saying repeatedly the slave ships stopped in the West Indies and left the strong ones and brought the weaker ones over here, which is a lie, which proves he has no knowledge of how the slave ships, the slave trade operates. Why don't you know enough about your history to know how this trade operated? After the American Yankee Clipper outran the British man of war, and slavery was a New England business, not a Southern business. The Southerners bought their slaves from the New Englander. After that, American ships went straight to Africa, picked up the slaves, and came straight back to the United States. You cannot separate slaves based on who was brave and who was not brave. The slave revolts in the Caribbean islands were more successful, had nothing to do with bravery. It had to do with an incident in history which neither one of us had anything to do with. The maintenance of culture continuity. Slaves, buyers in the Caribbean bought in large lots and kept the lots together. They thought they could work them better that way, but they forgot they could revolt better that way. In the Caribbean islands, the slave in the house related to the slaves in the field. In the United States, because they bought in small lots and broke them out, the slave in the house had no relationship to the slave in the field, and the slave in the house would betray the slave in the field. This had nothing to do with bravery. It has to do with culture continuity. There are good books on the subject by fine Caribbean writers, especially Edward Williams and C.L.R. James. So what is he talking? Distorting history, and he get away with it because you don't know history. In a speech made right here in New York, Farrakhan bought the story of the curse and said, and I've got it on tape, I got it on video, and I got it on audio, that people with dark skin and woolly hair, a certain kind of nose, was cursed. And that the texture of your hair and the texture of your eyebrows are supposed to be the same.
So Shabazz was not permitted to stay in that area, so he took his family into the jungle of East Asia, which we now call Africa, to make a people close to nature. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, this is the origin of kinky hair, because we didn't have kinky hair prior to that. The hair on our head was like the hair on our eyebrows. The hair on your eyebrows straight, the hair on your head is not the same as the hair on your eyebrow. But the hair of every other people is the same as their eyebrow. Your eyebrow straight, your hair something different. Wouldn't you like the hair on your head to be as straight as the hair on your eyebrow? That's why you're so busy frying it. That's why you're so busy pulling it. Because your nature tells you that the kink I mean, you know, with I'm black and I'm proud, we got to learn to be proud of kinks. Because most of your family of other black people on the earth, jet black. They didn't have no broad nose and thick lips and kinky hair. They were dark-skinned people, jet black. But they had straight hair, a thinner lip, a thinner nose. But we are marked as a different kind of black person. And we were rejected and despised, not only from the circle of the gods, but we were despised and rejected by all the other dark people of the earth. This is why today black people with kinky hair and broad nose and thick lips are rejected in every society. I want you to hear me well tonight.
Yes, sir.
Why are we rejected? Because the essence of beauty is in obedience and submission to God. And the essence of ugliness is when you rebel against God. And when you rebel against God, in your rebellion, you are marked with a certain mark of your rebellion, which is the disfigurement of your internal self, which manifests in the disfigurement of your external self. And this is why when you look at our people, wherever we are found on the earth, you find us either disfiguring ourselves physically because we are disfigured on the inside because of rebellion.
He's saying with his high yellow self that he is pretty and blessed by God. And you're buying it, applauding it, and following after this con man. Now you would follow him to Washington. It was an achievement. An achievement for who? Anytime you gather that many people together and fail to mention Africa, you might as well build a body and leave out the heart. No matter where your body is in this world, your political and cultural heartbeat is in Africa. You call an Italian American. He's not pleased. He calls himself Italian. He's been here 5 generations. He still says Italian. He mentioned the country of his origin. His Americanism is a giver. But the country of his origin is his birthright. Why have we listened to all of this with no perception? His speech indeed was a golden opportunity. And he said nothing, put it all together. It's like a Baptist sermon. I have put Baptist sermons, recorded them, and had them transcribed. The minister is not saying nothing. Not one good sentence there. He's babbling, and once in a while he said, Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Then he turns to the audience and say, do I have a witness? Witness for what? You ain't said nothing. And we let people get away with this feel-good rhetoric and run games on us and open up our pockets and put money in the collection plate and go out and say, oh, what a fine sermon. He ain't said nothing. Farrakhan is a frustrated Baptist preacher like most of the Muslims. They're angry with Christianity. Now, I challenge Farrakhan to march on the Arab embassies that has restarted the slave trade in Africa, in the Sudan, and in Mauritania. If he and the rest of the Muslims are not ready to deal with the slave trade in Africa, they're cowards and hypocrites.
Now, that sums it up for this video. What do you guys think? Share thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. Let's have a proper discussion about this without having me impose my opinions and ideas on this matter. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, so that the YouTube algorithm can know that this video was so much interesting and share it far wide to more avid viewers just like you. Subscribe and click the notification bell if this is your first time watching these videos, and so that you can be notified as soon as we make a new upload on videos just like this. My name is Louis. Until next time, peace out.